Hey, everybody. Welcome to our monthly uh, Schneider Live here. Today, we are joined here by our recruiting specialist lead of the driving recruiting department. My name is Jenny.
And I'm Tyler.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about the Cdl Apprenticeship Program, which is sometimes referred as CAT. So we'll answer some commonly brought up questions about the program, and we'll kind of go over that information. But again, we are live, so make sure that you're dropping your questions in the comments section, and we'll try to answer those as we go along. Otherwise, if you do submit your question afterwards, we'll try to get an answer to you when we see your message. So first off, let's go ahead and start the basics. What is the CDL Apprenticeship Program? Tyler, you want to tell them a little bit?
Yeah, of course, Jenny. So Schneider's CDL Apprenticeship Training Program, it's a paid training program, which is held at one of Schneider's facilities. That allows students to get real-world experience while they obtain their CDL.
Yeah.
Also, in addition to that, candidates coming aboard through the CAP program, they're expected to stay on the account that they hire onto for approximately 90 days, after which, if they're looking for other driving opportunities within Schneider, they're able to work with our transfer team.
Yes, and get that opportunity. Yeah, big key there is get that real world life experience, right? And you're getting paid while you're going through this and getting your CDL. So that's a really big thing. Now I know there's a few requirements to be able to join the program. So I know one of them is going to be making sure that you have a copy or can provide a copy of your commercial learner's permit. You must also have a valid DOT physical. You must be able to complete hair and urine drug screens with us. And there must be a position available in your area. So when you go on schneiderjobs.com and you put your zip code on there, you can select the filter for CDL apprenticeship, and we must have a opening for you in your area there. So those are just some of the basic requirements. As always, you can always call 844-PRIDE, and we can kind of walk through that with you as well, and make sure that we can go over any open positions for you. Now, I know we mentioned we have the paid program, and that is a big advantage for candidates coming in through this. Now, do you know when do they start receiving payments, or that's usually a big question we get sometimes?
Yes, it is. Drivers actually start getting those payments, so they're paid from the start of their orientation. So, and what's nice is that our drivers get weekly paychecks.
Yes, exactly. We do have option for direct deposit and all that good stuff too. So we do remind you guys to bring that when you come into the training as well. And we do have a few locations. So I know we are in Green Bay, Wisconsin. We have a location here, right? But what other locations do we have across the country?
Yeah, so we have training locations held in Charlotte, North Carolina, Indianapolis, Indiana, Wilmer, Texas, which is actually just right outside of Dallas, and then Chicago, Illinois, which we hold our intermodal training there.
Yes, good call out. We do training for a CDL apprenticeship for van truckload, which is the 53-foot trailer, and then we have the intermodal, which is the containers coming through the rail yard. So yes, we can help with both of those divisions and get you fully trained. Now, there's a little bit of a difference though in the training, in the length of it, right?
Yeah, there is. So the van truckload dedicated, we're looking at 5 weeks of training, whereas the intermodal training is 6 weeks long.
Yes. I know we're getting some questions already here, and we have Louise asking if there's any opportunities for recent graduates. And Louise, we definitely have opportunities for candidates that obtain their CDL elsewhere. Just make sure that you went to schneiderjobs.com and put in your zip code there. You'll be able to see all the job opportunities available in your area. There is also a filter that you can select for less than 3 months of experience, and that should filter out what's available for you. But definitely that's an option. Now we have a question here saying, how does JetSet work? Can you help us explain that?
Yeah, I can explain more on JetSet. So our JetSet program at Schneider, that means we're going to fly you out to an area where you'd be needed to drive. So generally that could be anywhere in the country as far as the main 48 states. Specifics on that may range as far as how much you're required to be out on the road. So it'd just be best, if you want to learn a little bit more about, the time out, time home, to give us a call.
Yeah, definitely. Call us 844 Pride. And then definitely ask about it. We can go over those options with you guys. Great. Now, I did want to cover a little bit more about the differences in the trainings between van truckload and intermodal. I know Tyler had mentioned that van truckload is going to be a 5-week training, and intermodal is stretched out a little bit for 6 weeks. And the process is a little bit different. So I'll kind of go over what the intermodal training, the 6 weeks look like. And then Tyler, if you want to go over the van truckload. Now, the intermodal, what we do is the first 3 weeks of the program are actually going to be getting you familiar with the driving itself to be able to get your CDL. So during those 3 weeks, you will have some classroom training. You will get to use our simulators. You will get some yard training where you can use our trucks. And then at the end of those 3 weeks, you will go ahead and test for your CDL to be able to obtain it. At that point, then you will be able to get additional truck training in our yard. You'll do additional maneuvering training. And then you do get to spend 2 weeks out on the road with the training engineer. At that point, keep in mind you are a CDL holder. You're just going through additional training so that you can feel 100% comfortable before we send you out on your own. Now, there is going to be, at the end of the 6 weeks, there is a communication between you and your driver leader so that you know who your next point of contact is. So we'll make sure that to do that handoff comfortably, but a little bit different with the intermodal, 6 weeks total. And then but you end up receiving your CDL by the end of the 3rd week. So a little bit different than the van truckload.
Right. And with van truckload, again, 5 weeks of training. So first week, we're going to be more focused on doing your new hire paperwork, pre-work screens if applicable, as well as classroom training. We have simulator training and then truck training. Week 2, kind of continuing some of more of the same things with classroom training as well as truck training. And then we do a qualifications road test at the end of that 2nd week. Then weeks 3 and 4, we have you go out on the road with the training engineer. Week 5 is when we would send you back home, or not home, but to the training site to do that CDL road test. And then after that, after successfully completing the road test, we would hand you off to our operations team, and then you'd be assigned your driver team leader.
Yes, so good call out on that. I know, like we said, at the end of the 5 weeks is when you actually receive or go for the test for your CDL. Now, I know one of the common questions we get is, once I test, let's say you go to Indianapolis and you live out of Tennessee or something, right? They say, do I have to go back to Tennessee and redo the road test in my state then in that case? What would you answer them on that?
Yeah, so when you're doing your road test out of a different state, you have that paperwork that you'd bring to your state DMV, and that's actually one of the main reasons why we have you come in with your permit from the state you claim residency in. So then that way it's a smooth transition once you pass your road test.
Yeah, so nice and easy. You just go back home, wait for your DMV to process that CDL, and then we're good to go. So I know we have some additional questions. We have Saeed. He mentioned he used to drive with Schneider back in 2016, but then he finished at the end of that year. He wants to know what the next steps would be for that. Saeed, there's a few different avenues that we can go in that way. So definitely just reach out to us at 844 Pride, and we can go over that process with you, or you can submit your application through schneiderjobs.com. Potentially, you might have to do just a little bit short, brief training, but not as long as what we're talking about here with the 5-6 weeks of training. So definitely give us a call and we'll go through that process with you. We have another question here from Charlie, and he said, are you taking recent grads from other schools? He is an instructor at a current Schneider preferred school. How would we answer that?
Yeah, so I would definitely encourage to go on Schneider Jobs, or again, call the 44 Pride number. We do in a lot of areas accept new and recent graduates from trucking school, but a lot of times those opportunities are going to depend on the area that you live in. So it is going to be best to check the website and give us a call so we can identify what opportunities we'd have to offer.
Exactly. Yes. So, again, I just wanted to point out some of the advantages of the CDL Apprenticeship Program. So, you are getting paid while you learn and you train to receive your CDL. So, I know that's usually a big concern for people that call in and are interested in working with Schneider, but they're worried about having to go to school full time, pay whatever tuition the school's charging, and on top of that not be able to make any money while they're doing that, right? So that's a really big advantage. You get paid while you learn and receive your CDL at that time. Is there any other advantages that we can point out to them at all?
I think one of the big things too is providing meals like lunch and dinner.
Yes. Mhm.
We provide lodging as well. And then again, you're paid by Schneider during that
Yes.
training. So those are all huge things that we try to provide to kind of minimize those costs coming out of pocket for our candidates, for our drivers
Yeah.
going through school.
Another nice perk too is coming with Schneider is that you will be able to train on state of the art automatic equipment. So you do have the opportunity to train on newer equipment and kind of get comfortable with also what kind of new technology our equipment's bringing in, and get comfortable with those changes. Now, I do point out there are automatic trucks that we use at this point. So I know some people that have had their CDL from many years back, they do prefer the manuals, but keep in mind, all of our focus is safety. So we want to make sure that everybody's safe, and we decided to move to the automatic trucks, but they are state of the art equipment that we do use during our training as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you get the chance to drive with, experienced over the road,
Mhm.
drivers.
Yes.
So drivers that have been in those situations
Yeah.
previously.
You get to do the job. You get to
Yeah.
pick up, drop off loads, use the systems, really sleep in the truck,
Yep.
right? So really get kind of that feel of what it is to be on the truck. So.
Exposing you to the full experience.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's a little bit about our program. Definitely continue to submit your questions in the comments below. We'll continue to answer as we see them come up. Otherwise, you can always check our website out, schneiderjobs.com. You can give us a call at 844-PRIDE, and we can go over a little bit more information with you guys on that. And I think for now, that is all we have for you guys.